Well, here we are on the southwest side of town, and the sign says need to go south on 1604. Kind of getting out in the... Looks like we're kind of getting out in the country here. You see the countryside. We're definitely out in farm country. I haven't seen these guys in a while. They may be farmers now. I don't really know what to expect. Here comes the exit I'm supposed to take. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, okay. Gotta take a left here. Got some farms down there. I see a building here. I don't know. I don't think that's a studio. We're definitely out in the country, I tell you that though. This, I think I might have the address. I'm not quite sure if this is the place. It looks a little scary. No, I think we need to keep on going a little farther down the road here. Let you know a little bit about the countryside here. A lot of old country homes out here. Nice color house there. First sign of life here I've seen in a while right there. Getting a little scared, not knowing what to expect. Well, this definitely shows you where we are. We're definitely in the sticks now. Cattle over there. Well, I don't know why they put a studio out here in the country. They record country music, I guess. And they said to turn right on a street called Cagnon, and I guess we're there, so I'm going to turn right here and see where we're going to. As you see, we got fields and railroad tracks. No sign of any people. Well, I'm back, passed it up, I guess. I'm backing up a little bit here. They said the address is 9080, so we're gonna pull in here, see what happens. A little hard to drive a standard with a camera in one hand, but we're gonna do the best we can. Instead to go back to the garage. That's what we're gonna do here. Let's see what we got. All right, let's see if these guys are here. You guys here?
Yeah, that's me, Ricky.
Yeah, hey, who is that? There he is.
Who is
this? Come on in.
It's Bryan Scott. There's CJ over there.
Hi, how you doing?
Real good.
Young Curtis Johnson.
Let me just take a look at some of the gear here.
You are filming this for insurance purposes, right?
You build this little cabinet here, Bryan?
Yeah, actually,
There's like some real fine craftsmanship, I will say.
oh, it's nice.
If you could refer to him as Presley Carvel during the duration of this videotaping, just for legal purposes.
Presley Carvel.
Presley Carvel.
And I called you CJ. Is that
That's
not
fine,
your name
that's fine.
anymore?
That's my street name, CJ.
Okay.
And
And
that is my new legal name, Presley Carvel.
Presley Carvel says so.
Carvel Productions.
That's exactly right. So what brings...
all right, I'm going to ask Bryan a couple of questions. Oh, sorry, Presley.
Presley.
Thank you very much.
Presley, about the gear here. Tape recorder, he's got a couple of ADATs. He's got them down there in a little rack on the floor. And then he's got a BRC up here. And Bryan is a master. Presley is a master.
Presley is the undisputed master of the BRC this side of the Bible Belt.
See, Bryan being my nickname, the B stands for Bryan's Remote Control.
Bryan's remote control.
See?
All right, and then I'll go across the board here. We'll talk about a little bit of the gear. The mixing console is a kind of a miniature version of the one they have at Studio M, CAD. I see you got 16 channels. It seems to me like you'd run out of channels, especially if you got virtual. What do y'all do about that?
Well,
Do you have some kind of auxiliary mixer or a sidecar mixer or something?
No, I mean, I never really run across that problem.
Really?
No.
Huh.
The way I track stuff. I mean, normally when I mix, I mean, I don't need extra channels.
Do you do sub mixes to ADATs so that you've got a bunch of stuff on like a stereo pair or something?
A lot of times, yeah. Especially with
We make composite tapes of everything.
drum tracks, especially a lot of drum tracks are composited. But in order to keep everything separated, there'll be like a set of drum tapes.
Oh, I see.
Have all the drums separated, put those away, make a composite to a new tape. You know, track all the music, keep all that stuff separated. If you need
I guess you got a fortune in SVHS tapes,
Yeah.
right? Now, so do you, when you say a drum tapes plural, can't you put all the drums on one 8-at or not really?
No, I mean not the whole kit.
So you have the kit pretty well broken out on the tunes?
Oh yeah, I mean every instrument.
So if a kick, you might have the kick like on 3 tracks or not really?
No, the kick, if anything, would be on 2 if there's some ambience that's you know evident in the sample.
But maybe a couple of 16 tracks worth of drums.
Yeah.
And so when you need to mix, you gotta. Well, that doesn't make sense. When you mix the stuff out here, you got to have another 8-at, right?
Well, when I mix, I normally leave 2 tracks open, or sometimes we'll bring another 8-at just to mix too.
Yeah. Well, I can see if you have another tape recorder, but where are you going to get the channels on the board?
Well, you don't need to. I mean, I'll just monitor through like the 2-track out of those 2 tracks with the other 8-at for the mix. You know what I mean?
Hold on, I'm going to shut this down and talk to you boys here a second.
And if there's a problem,
I just cleared up something here. The way they do that is if they've got 16 tracks of drums, and since they have a 16-channel board here, they'll go ahead and get the drums sounding good and mix them down to a stereo pair or 3 tracks or something.
you just stereo pair. And normally, you know, some percussion will be separated, you know.
And so that's what'll exist on your final tapes that you use to mix.
Correct. Normally, I mean, the whole kit will be on 2 tracks.
Yeah, the whole drum kit's on 2 tracks. And so when you in your final mix, you may have 3 8-at machines in here. 2 of them have your tracks that you're using to mix, and then the final 8-at machine will be what you're mixing to.
Correct.
And as you said, you don't really, you just bring that in the 2-track returns or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how we did. That's how we did the FOS stuff. Is we got Macari's.
What exactly is FOS?
Fear of Silence.
And is that the name of y'all's band?
Yeah.
Or do you call it a band? Do you have another name for it?
We call it a pop combo.
Yeah.
If you could refer to it as a pop combo.
So hold that picture up so I can kind of show them here. FOS.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is Presley.
Maybe you guys could bring that to class, will you?
And this is me, CJ.
Now, where's Jay?
Jay is right here.
And is he's not here today?
No, he's serving time in Folsom County Prison right now.
Okay.
For some crimes that he did, but he will be out by the time this stuff gets released.
Okay,
hopefully.
good. All right, let's go through a little more gear here. Got for monitors, got NS10Ms. You got anything exotic you're driving these with for power amp?
No, I'm just this Alesis.
Cool, good. All right.
It's a clean little thing.
So then above it here you have this Alesis compressor. Do you use that from time to time? Do you like it?
I don't use it to track with. I use it to, you know, maybe compress like stereo backups once they're tracked or something like that, or some drum tracks, things like that. But normally when I track vocals, I use this DVX.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, it works really well for tracking, and especially for vocals. Guitars too, it's really good. Anything, but I use it on everything really.
Yeah, so in here, if you were to count the compressors, you got the Alesis and the DBX, right?
There's another Alesis, but it's in my rig.
Okay. And then I see you've got the data disk that you use for storage of these 2 machines here, probably, right?
Yep.
And then the D4, you use that for drum sounds.
Drum sounds.
Quadriverb, do you use that effect quite a bit on your mixes?
Yeah, for, you know, some drum things and stuff. Normally, you know, the quad's good for things like delay and I mean the verbs aren't that rich in it.
Yeah.
You know?
So what do you have something else for reverb?
But normally I don't like to use a lot of. First of all, I don't like a reverb at all. Normally, you know.
You must have said that to Chase Gents because he told me that, and he made it sound like it was his idea.
No. On their stuff,
You'll find a lot of those similarities.
I don't use and really I haven't used reverb on any of like the stuff you heard of Fear of Silence or even reverb on anything.
Okay, so you can throw away your reverbs, class. All right, now this top effect here, this SPX 92, I believe that actually belongs to Studio M, and I saw CJ borrow it. CJ?
Well, it now belongs to the Studio M.
No comment on that. There's still some litigation pending. But at one point it was there, and now it is here.
Okay.
And that's all we can say about that.
Who's this coming in here?
Who is this?
That's the lawn boy, Jimmy Mansell.
That's me.
Jimmy, if you could get those shrubs today.
The shit at
Do
the.
this side gig. I make soft porn, not soft porns,
I
but
was recording that, so.
some amateur stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
This didn't come out as good as we hoped.
Let's see what else we got here. Is that a direct box you borrowed from Studio M also?
That would be a no on that one.
All right. I guess that there's more than one of those in town. Okay, let's see what else we got here. This side you got the sampler.
Over here we have the S1000. Yes.
Yeah, and I chatted with you. You say you use that extensively for
Yeah.
drum sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And like those loops I did in those, of course, I loaded them into that thing and had to, get them synced up with the groove and everything.
mhm. And then here are the two machines on each side of the console. We have an HR16B drum machine, and then a MMT8 sequencer. Let me ask you about this FOS project. CJ, I heard you say earlier that you actually came over here with some tracks you had cut some other place.
Yeah.
Where did you cut the other tracks?
Melody Ranch.
Okay.
Over there at Chris's, and we tracked out all the keyboard stuff, all the guitar, and all the bass, and then
At Melody Ranch.
yeah, with the intention of coming over here and me and Bri finishing the project here, but he had this wacky new guitar tone that was just like monstrous crazy, and being that the nature of this thing was experimental anyway, we talked about it and decided it'd probably be best just to go ahead and scrap all of those guitar tracks, and so we did. So the only thing that we kept would just be those some of the keyboard tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So we retracked all the guitars and all the bass here, using the exact same tone on all of the tunes that we did here.
Did Bryan or Presley, as his
Presley.
name may be, did he engineer the stuff at Melody Ranch?
No, there wasn't really any engineering. I was just
Well, let me ask you something. It seems to me if you were doing that, my first worry would be that you'd have trouble recreating the drum tracks because you wouldn't be able to sync.
No, here's the crazy thing. Press already did the drum tracks for that stuff.
Yeah, I'd originally done the drums for that stuff. So.
Exactly.
Here.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the stuff was coded
And so
properly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I had him program everything out because everybody knows hands down he's the best drum programmer this side of the Bible Belt. And so what happened was, so he gave me the ADATs and then we tracked to that, and then I came back and then he had discovered this new wacky guitar tone that was.
Well, who played the other guitars?
That was Don Van Staveren.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, we were just using like a Marshall and Craig, just the typical rock and roll setup thing.
Uh-huh.
And the stuff really wasn't rock and roll. It was
And
more
so
spin.
Bryan played you some guitar stuff he had done with some other songs.
Yeah, he had demoed one tune that he had written. He demoed it with that guitar tone,
Mhm.
and I freaked on the guitar tone, and then we talked that it might be a good thing to use that guitar tone throughout this whole project.
And Bryan was telling me that to get the guitar tone, he used this fine little setup right down here.
No, so you might have to erase that section of the tape.
Yeah,
That's a secret.
Yeah, that's like a studio secret.
Okay. That little effect box on top has a lot to do with the sound, though. That little one that says Emerald on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with it. That's
Okay.
That would be a flashlight.
yeah.
Right.
But I mean, just how you get that light on there? I mean, it's it's crazy.
Well, see, it helps in the vibe, because I turn off all the lights and just turn on that fucking iridescent little flashlight, and I fucking smoke a little pot. I get
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right.